The afternoon of Friday, May 16, 2025, began like any other in St. Louis. The air was warm and the sky was clear, but by late afternoon, the weather took a drastic turn. Dark clouds gathered and the wind began to howl. Soon, two powerful tornadoes touched down in the heart of the city, leaving behind a trail of destruction and despair. The first tornado ripped through the city's south side, tearing roofs off homes and businesses. The second, even more powerful twister, carved a path of destruction through the city's center, leveling buildings and uprooting trees. The storm was as sudden as it was violent, leaving residents with little time to prepare. In the immediate aftermath, stunned residents emerged from their homes or what remained of them to scenes of utter devastation. Twisted metal, shattered glass, and splintered wood littered the streets. The air was thick with dust and the smell of natural gas. The storm had passed, but the true extent of its fury was only beginning to become clear. As the sun set on that fateful Friday, the full scope of the disaster came into sharp focus. The St. Louis Fire Department confirmed 5 fatalities, with the death toll expected to rise as search and rescue teams combed through the rubble. Hospitals, overwhelmed with patients suffering from injuries ranging from cuts and broken bones to severe head trauma, struggled to keep up with the demand. The storm damaged an estimated 5,000 buildings, leaving thousands of residents displaced. Entire neighborhoods were without power, with downed power lines and debris blocking roads and hampering rescue efforts. The storm crippled communication networks, making it difficult for residents to reach loved ones or call for help. The city of St. Louis declared a state of emergency, with Mayor Cara Spencer calling the devastation tremendous and one of the worst storms in the city's history. Governor Mike Kehoe toured the damage and pledged the full support of the state in the recovery effort. Amidst the destruction and despair, stories of resilience and compassion began to emerge. Neighbors helped neighbors dig through the rubble, searching for survivors and offering comfort to those who had lost everything. First responders worked tirelessly, risking their own lives to save others. One resident, Sarah Williams, recounted huddling in her basement with her 2 young children as the tornado roared overhead. "It felt like the world was ending," she said, her voice trembling. "But then, as soon as it started, it was over. We were lucky. Our house is still standing, but our neighbors weren't so fortunate." Another resident, John Miller, a retired firefighter, sprang into action when he heard the unmistakable roar of the tornado. He helped pull several of his neighbors from the wreckage of their homes and administered first aid until paramedics arrived. "You do what you have to do," he said, his face etched with exhaustion and determination. "These are my neighbors, my community. We're all in this together." Section 4. The Long Road to Recovery. Officials and aid organizations respond. As the initial shock began to wear off, the daunting task of rebuilding began. The city of St. Louis announced plans to open shelters for displaced residents and set up a hotline for those in need of assistance. The American Red Cross and other aid organizations mobilized volunteers and resources to provide food, water, and other essential supplies to those affected by the disaster. Ameren, the local power company, worked around the clock to restore power, but warned that it could be days or even weeks before electricity was fully restored to all areas. The city's forestry department deployed crews to clear fallen trees and debris from roads, while building inspectors fanned out to assess the damage and determine which structures were safe to enter. The National Weather Service launched an investigation into the tornado's paths and severity, hoping to learn from the disaster and improve warning systems in the future. The agency confirmed that the tornadoes were at least EF3 on the enhanced Fujita scale, with winds exceeding 136 miles per hour. Section 5. St. Louis Strong, a community united in the face of tragedy. The tornadoes that tore through St. Louis on May 16, 2025, left an indelible mark on the city and its residents. But amidst the devastation, the spirit of St. Louis shone through. In the face of unimaginable loss, the community came together, offering support, comfort, and hope to one another. The road to recovery will be long and arduous, but the people of St. Louis are resilient. With the support of each other, their city, and the nation, they will rebuild their lives and their community, emerging from the rubble stronger than ever before.